Welcome to Black Love Matters, where this serves as a therapy session for figuring out adulthood,
loving each other,
or finding our inner Brock and Michelle,
or Jay-Z and Beyonce. Who is you?
I'm Niram.
And I'm Nyambi.
And this is episode 369.
Hey.
Be sure to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and on Stitcher, and follow us on all forms of social media at Black Love Matters. That's black with no K. What's going on?
Happy Monday, or better yet, let me put respect. Happy MLK Day, y'all. The King birthday is here. I'm waiting on Niram to give me an effect. Happy MLK Day, y'all. It's one of my favorite holidays. MLK would have been 92 this year. His actual birthday was his previous Friday, but the federal holiday is celebrated on Monday. So he would have been 92 years old. As y'all know, it's a day on, not off. This year, I'm celebrating a little differently than I normally do. I usually like to be somehow connected to the community, either via community service or just with friends or family doing fellowship. But since it's the COVID, I am celebrating via self-care and having a really, really good meal. So I'm off work today. And I honestly, y'all ever just did one of them self-care routines where you just grease up from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes, and when you take a bath or a shower, like everything just takes long? That's what I'm doing today. Like when I come out of the bathroom, I just want to slip and slide all over the floor. I just want to just take care of myself and just do it really thoughtfully. So, like I said, I'm channeling my inner Audre Lorde and using my forms of self-care as a form of resistance and also a way of honoring the King today. But I encourage y'all to celebrate in your own way. Don't go outside now. Don't be like Nyambi told me to celebrate the King holiday. Don't y'all be going outside and gathering and doing too much of that. You can do that by watching the movies that's been out, the documentaries. Y'all know that MLK versus the FBI came out.
Excited for that.
There's all types of podcasts. You can listen to your favorite Black Love podcast. You can go on YouTube, listen to some of your favorite speeches. I know my personal favorite speech by MLK is "I've been to the mountaintop." I think that was his last speech that he gave before he was assassinated. But that speech, that he was just in his sauce, in his swag at that moment. And, you know, for the folks who don't know it, it's basically like he done came to the congregation was like, I done did everything I can do. But you know what? I know my Lord. I know the will. We going to get to that promised land. I don't know if we going to get it together. I don't know if I'm going to be here to see it. But one thing my Lord promised is that we all going to get there. And I just be like, ooh, E-Bo-Bo. Right? His Southern Baptist came out on that one. I was like, he better come on and say that word. So whenever I always need to pick me up, or whenever I think about MLK, I've been to the mountaintop is a speech that always gets me fired up. So maybe while I'm taking my shower and I'm putting that coconut oil on my body and making sure my doing the lock method, leaving oil cream on my twist, I've been to the mountain top in the background. I'll start planning on doing. What's your thoughts for MLK Day, Niram? How you plan on celebrating? Are you gonna give us in your update?
I think it's going to be another day of like supporting. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to donate financially.
That's good. That's a good idea.
You know, because I'm definitely not going outside.
You can't go outside.
Not going outside.
You can't go out. Because don't at the root of MLK Day feel like a day where you do some type of march, community service, and it all ends with like a meal with people you love.
Right.
That can't happen this year. But we can have a meal. We love each other. We can have us a meal. I'm going to cook a good meal tomorrow.
But, you know, I'm going to find somewhere to donate.
Yes.
I've been thinking about more of what are going to be the pillar charities that I'm going to start giving my money to.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah, and not even just the big ones, right? Like I'm trying to look for like those mid-size or the ones that's just starting up so I can really see where my money.
Yeah. The hard part is finding people that have 501(c)(3).
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, oh, I'm a non-for-profit. And it's like, oh, okay, you got your paperwork?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't did that yet. Well, I can't give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to get that paperwork.
I need that paperwork done.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, I'm just getting excited about the inauguration too. Something else that no one needs to go to, I plan on watching on the television. Y'all know what I'm going back and forth with is if I'm just going to take that day off work or clear my calendar. Like, I don't know how I'm going to play that day out. Like, I don't know if I just need to clear my calendar. Maybe not take the day off work, but just clear my calendar. It might be a good day just to do work from the couch. right? But not necessarily be in meetings with people. So that's the only piece of work I might do on the Cane's holiday. I might take a peek at my calendar and go ahead and cancel some meetings and silently remove some stuff and move it around because of the Cane holiday. But about this inauguration, Kamala Harris is going to be sworn in as the VP on the Thurgood Marshall's Bible. Come on. And then Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor gonna do it. Come on. All right, Soror. I know people's getting on me. I know the K's are Founders Day Friday, and but some people's like, Naomi, you ain't even say nothing.
Naomi ain't say a goddamn thing.
But y'all know what day it is. Y'all know what, because the thing is, once I get to saying one, then I got to keep up with everybody.
Naomi act like she ain't even the K.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because I hit Naomi with Happy Founders Day, baby.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. I did not say oh.
How you know? Nigga, because it's everywhere. You ain't mention it. Are you gonna put a little, you want to put on your favorite song? You gonna throw a little pearl or something? You gonna do a little scroll?
It is COVID.
You gonna have a little tea?
You know what? COVID has just shifted my mental. Everything is just humble and low key.
Yeah, so you gonna put on a little pink and green? You gonna try to put on your crossing jacket, see if that still fit? You gonna try?
Don't you make me get up and that crossing jacket fit?
Oh, okay.
I can button it too. You tried me. You said, do my crossing jacket fit? Yes, it do fit. Shout out to Spring of 08. It do fit. It got for him to come to you with I'm stuck on that. Try to check me on what fit and don't fit.
I'm just asking. Yeah. It's your Founders Day. I ain't seen you put on a pin.
Where I'm gonna go?
I ain't seen you get on.
I ain't wear all white. I ain't get on one.
You ain't get on no all white. You ain't get on no one Zoom. You know I know your job. You got the K's at your job. I'm like y'all ain't. Y'all ain't get together and talk there with the K's. I ain't see you do a damn thing.
I just ain't had nothing to say. And then shout out to Ethel and them. It's just I didn't want to be the negative Nancy coming to the picnic. So instead of being a negative Nancy, I stayed home, which is a lot of negative Nancy should do. Mm-hmm. I was just practicing self-care.
Amber ass ain't do shit.
Next year I'll be at it.
You didn't even think she was okay. That's why I had to start second guessing.
I need my other source. Can y'all please send me in motivational emails and DMs to pay my fees? Because I don't want to. I'm doing general member this year, and I'm just like, well, why don't I just ride this out and circle on back? Mm-hmm. So Ross, please send me inspiration. But happy Founders Day to all the Divine Nine. I know we beginning to do the rundown of everybody's, and everyone's done came and gone.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right?
They also, a lot of them, not all of them, I should say.
Yeah, they're all in the same region. I feel like it was
all back to back,
like every other weekend.
It's something.
Happy Founders Day to them.
To them, days. Yeah. And honestly, after you hit the 100, it's just like, let's check back in at like the big ones.
Yeah.
Like the milestones. Let's do it like 10, 110, 115, 125. We don't got to do 113. Okay.
Why
Thank
not?
you. You're right. Celebrate. Again, I'm negative Nancy. I just decided to exclude myself out because I didn't want to put on no all white and get on no call.
Oh.
I'll see y'all next year though. What, Neil? What you about to say? Funny?
No.
What you about to say? In Divine Nine, y'all better not come at me. Listen, and I don't want to see nobody come at me.
It's y'all Founders Day. You ain't gonna get out on the patio and do a ski wee or something. You ain't gonna put the bird call out. See if somebody respond.
No, you said see if anybody respond. What's that? The bird call supposed to do? What the bird call supposed to do there? Just to make sure we in the area.
Yeah. Shit.
Was other folks showing out? Since Nerum knows so much, what was other people doing to celebrate? Not just the K's, anybody. What was everybody doing celebrating? What does it to do with put up an emoji?
I got somebody who's close to me who just crossed.
Oh. But what else they doing?
And it's just so weird to see that person like all of a sudden.
Repping?
Like repping so hard like they're in undergrad.
But what does it... Don't do that.
No, for real.
That's me. Don't do
It's not me, but it's like...
it's like Neo. It's being a Neo. It's being a neophyte.
I was like, dang. It was just weird. Like, it wasn't... Like, I ain't trying to, like, diss them or anything. It was just weird seeing that.
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, I got text messages and I had sorors call me, but like, I think they know the energy to bring with me. Like, I'm not the one who can talk for hours about AK. It's great, right? And I've had a wonderful experience, but I don't. Also, what I'm really just feeling super excited about is because y'all not about to get me caught up on the soundbite and then send it to the national chapter. They be like, Naomi says you don't give a damn. No, that's not what I said. If y'all would have an episode about Greek life, let us know. I'm happy to unpack. Maybe do we know? We got everybody in the Sin of Divine Nine? I think we do. I don't know any iotas.
Me either.
That feels shady. In itself.
I don't know. No
I don't know
iotas
iotas
or no SG Rose.
I know Eshiro. One.
Do I know that? No, I can't be.
I don't know no iotas though.
No,
not one. I know a Mason.
Yeah,
I know
you
Eastern
sit next-
Stars.
you sit next
I know
to a
Eastern
Mason,
Stars.
nigga.
Yeah, maybe we can have a Divine Nine table. We'll talk about bougie black people. Divine Nine, don't get an attitude. Nets. Overall, I'm just feeling good and I'm riding this wave. And I think this wave is just coming from me listening to my body, knowing when to say no, knowing when to say yes, and embracing that. But more so, I've just been so pleased and happy with my community that I'm able to just say what I need or don't want to do and still be loved, right? It's something to that. I think a few episodes we were talking about boundaries and knowing that sometimes when you put boundaries up, you might get negative reactions. I actually have been very pleasantly surprised. Like when I've been like, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that, or no, thank you, or yes, I do. People have been like, cool. They've just embraced me either way. So it's just been this wave I'm riding on. Balance. That's what I feel like. I'm reading this book called Everything You Need Is Inside of You. I forgot, one of my friends bought that for me, and it's a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and it's really interesting. I think the guy name is Gerald Kite, and he's a therapist, and his philosophy is that you need to look at your life as if it's a pendulum, and you know how a pendulum swings back and forth, and they said that's normally how people who don't have like grounding or connection with themselves, they're usually at the bottom of that pendulum, right? And at the bottom of the pendulum, that's where you'd have the least amount of control, right? You're swinging back and forth between like highs and lows. But what he said, instead of trying to control the highs and lows, because the highs and lows are already going to happen, you actually control yourself via that pendulum. So you think of like the long thing that's holding the pendulum, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. You think of yourself as that, and you think of that as home. And instead of being at the bottom of the pendulum, you want to work your way to be higher up, right? Because the higher you go up on the pendulum, even though those swings go back and forth, you don't move as much at the top. Right. So how do you get to that point? And I'm happy, if y'all interested, I'm happy to break down more of the tips and tricks. But it's just, I've really been in that space of trying to be in a place, he calls it home, right? Like of mental home, of calmness and peace. Because he was saying in his book that a lot of people was like, what do you mean? Why do people just want to be calm and in the middle and center? Like, don't you want to feel things? And I think I used to be one of them people like, oh my God, when I just want to feel so hard and be so over and like, I don't know, just rolled around and engulfed in emotion. Now I'm like, shit, I want to be just right in the middle. And like this book has been enlightening to that, so much so that, what was the quote I read to you this morning, Niram, about the idea of, I have to find the book of like who you think you are. There's a difference between who you are
and who you think you
and
are.
who you think you are. Like, and you need to take time to break that apart, right? And who you think you are is all these labels that you put on yourself. So mother, daughter, black, white, all that type of stuff. But when you remove that, who are you truly?
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
And then the author says we don't take enough time to remove those layers. To say, if you take all that away, not saying that they're not valid, but if you rip all that away, can you explain to yourself or other people who you truly are without those labels? Because all those things are kind of just imaginary. So it's a good book. So I recommend if folks are looking to just get grounded, center, get a different voice, different opinion. He's a little more revolutionary. He's a little bit more in the clouds, but I think we all need to be in the clouds sometimes. Yeah. Also, other joy I have is the NRA filed for bankruptcy. NRA filed for bankruptcy. That brought me a little joy. Also, WandaVision was good. That brought me some joy. And I got my steps in all this weekend, right? Like just waves of joy. And then I found another show I wasn't even looking to find. Have y'all seen Lupin? Lupin on Netflix with the black man with the voiceover from French, and he's stealing necklaces and white families. Joy. I'm just riding the wave of joy this week. So
That's what's up.
what's going on with you now?
Well, as Naomi is riding the wave of joy, I'm over here riding shame, hurt, and defeat.
You better get that pendulum.
We had a fucking earthquake last night.
Nero. What was the what's the earthquake rating?
It was like a 5.
Richter scale. It was not.
It was a 5.
It was a 4.5.
No, it was a 5.
Okay.
I round up. It was
Out of
a 4.8.
Out of what?
And so I'm rounding that up to 5. I don't know what the Richter scale go up to. I don't care. I can tell you.
You don't
one
even want to
thing.
be on the Richter scale.
I can tell you one thing. When the blinds start shaking and banging against the window,
Banging is a very strong word for what was happening.
this is my perception. It's not yours.
Okay.
As those blinds was banging against the window,
Yeah.
and I am sitting against the window, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this wall is just gonna fall off, and I'm just gonna fall right on off.
Yeah.
Off our 4th floor,
Yeah.
right into the ground because of the earthquake.
Yeah.
It fucked me up.
Meanwhile, I'm saying, I'm ready, Lord. Is that you?
It would be the one that's talking about I'm ready, Lord, who's further away from the damn window.
Is that it, Lord?
I'm ready.
I'm ready, Lord.
Only people that's fucked up is me and Mabel. Mabel looking around like, what the fuck?
And I'm calm. Were you surprised how calm I was?
Yes. I think it's because you took that edible right
I
before.
did take an edible too, but I was like, Lord, is this it? Okay. I'm ready, Lord.
And I'm like, I ain't even take an edible, and I feel every single bit of this shit. I feel this.
Miriam was like, did you feel that? I was like, yeah, it was an earthquake. He was like, it's an earthquake. I was like, yes, it was an earthquake.
Fuck me up.
He was like, why are you so calm? I was
Right.
like, I can't control earthquakes. I can't control. It's nothing I can do.
And so now I'm just waiting on the aftershock. I'm walking down in a squatted position so I can be ready for the aftershock because I'm not gonna fall the fuck
It's
over.
few things we don't. It's a lot of things we got control over, and earthquakes is one of them. So if it is, Lord, so mote it be.
And then people from California talking about, you all right. I don't start tripping and stuff until stuff started falling from a bookshelf.
What?
No, what? No.
It's gonna stay on the floor in our house
Show
as a reminder.
Because the way these motherfucking blinds is banging against the window.
Child, I was thinking about these cheap IKEA bookshelves we got, honey. If it falls, it's falling.
None of them shit secure.
It's just gonna. We gotta get Mabel out the way. But Mabel fast, so I ain't
She
that
is.
worried about her.
She get the fuck on.
Yeah, she get up out of there.
So yes, we had an earthquake yesterday and it fucked me up. What's going on? My job just hired some new positions, so like we hired a few VPs, so they like shifted me around and like different stuff. So
How's that going?
it's going all right. It's a change.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I need it because at first I really had no accountability. So like I just do what I want. Or it's like I just move project to project. And just do things without
clear direction.
Clear directions.
You're
And it's
going.
like-
you're not making progress. Like
Right.
you're doing things, but
I'm just
you're
doing
not
stuff.
moving forward. I see what you're
So I think having this VP and like me getting assigned to them, I think it could be I think it could be what I need because like one of the things like she even came to me and said it's like yo I know you work part time, like do you have any set hours? I was like no, like I just work and like when I'm on and I'm off I'm off.
Yeah.
It's like oh okay well we might want to work on like getting you a set schedule.
Oh, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't work on Mondays and Fridays. We can do that now. I got to let you know right now. I don't want to talk to you on Fridays or Mondays.
Don't talk to me on Mondays or Fridays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah,
So
I can let you know right now the schedule.
So I think that's pretty interesting. Just thinking about that and how the company's moving forward. I'm pretty excited about it because I think it's definitely going to be a company that's going to be that's going to go public.
Me too.
In a couple of years.
And good leadership, right? Like a good leadership, especially for it to be so many white women at the helm. And y'all know, I think you have people at the helm, not all of them. Like you definitely some white women there, but I think you have a few women who happen to be white. Do they do everything perfect? No, but do they understand there are greater powers at play, and do they use their place of privilege to do better? Yes, and that's what gives me hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also because in tech, white women they ain't really looking like white women like shit anyway.
Yeah, tech definitely kicks around white women.
So they've been burnt a few times. So it's
good. Like, listen, black women, I ain't leaving us out. They do us too, but we get that clap back.
Right.
Where white women just be crying. I've been in meetings where white women just bust out crying after like a white man or Asian man cuss her out.
So they're not gonna take my meeting,
and they'll just bust out crying. Where I've been in meetings where they cuss a black woman out and she's literally cussed them back out.
Some of the other stuff I would say when it comes to taking white women, like it's very like systematic.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, you got to meet with a VC company and they'll just cancel the meeting. Yo ass get there and it's like, ain't nobody there.
Like in your face. I agree. And I have not seen that happen as much with people of color. It's other shit with people of color that go down. But yes, I absolutely have seen them tell white women to take their ass to HR. And like not even blink.
Yeah.
And at high levels. I've seen them tell like white women who are VPs like, fuck you. And I'm like, God, aren't you the... Couldn't be Nyambi as the VP. Could not be Nyambi as the VP, and y'all talking to me like this. Which, never mind. I'm about to tell them my company. Never mind. I love my job. Nothing. You won't get me.
So
I got a few more years.
I think it was just interesting. I'm grateful to still have the position, but also thinking about like what my exit strategy is going to be. Yeah.
You always got to have an extra strategy, or you always got to be kind of looking up and out,
well,
even if you enjoy it.
I think as Black folk or people of color, we don't have an exit strategy. So like, period. We don't have an exit strategy. Like our thing is like get a good job and work here until we retire.
Fuck that.
But when I'm learning with dealing with tech or just white people in general or VCs, everything that they get into. They always got an exit strategy.
Always got an out.
So it's like, even if it's like working, it's like, all right, I'm going to work here for 2 years and I'm looking for a higher position.
Yep.
If they start in the company, all right, like, are we going to sell this thing? Are we going public? Are we going to try to get acquired?
Yep.
So I think for us, when we start thinking about foresight, when we start and get into these projects or just like jobs in general, we all need to start looking at like, what's our exit strategy for this thing? Because that's one of the things I'm definitely noticing when it comes to them, right? Like even for this VP, I heard talking about like, oh, I've been at this company, I've been at this company, I've been at that company. And I can see like the vertical leaps of like, what was her exit strategies?
Yep.
And being like, well, why you took this job? And it's like, oh, well, A, I'll be a VP, but C, like B, like our company is going to work from home permanently.
Yeah, and you want to be in a place where that's encouraged, right? If that's a priority, because that's something that I've been thinking about. I really love my company, and I'm super lucky to be able to work there. But the org I'm in, right, like we're very operations focused, and like I think I'm tired of that, and it's time for me to get out of that, right? Or I'm also looking. My org is a little bit more conservative when it comes from this idea of working from home, where like my company's kind of let different orgs figure out what they want to do. Where I know there's some orgs that literally have told people that's like, I don't care if you never come back. Like,
right.
And I need to be in that space because we got some plans we want at the end of the year. But like I've even been thinking about that. And I think sometimes we think when we do the exit strategy, we think it's negative.
But it's
like
not.
It's not negative. Like it's literally a part of your career plan. And if it don't work right and something happens really good and you end up staying, great, you stay and you take that path, but you always got to keep your eye on that prize. I honestly, this is such this thing you brought up, Niram, because I think this is something my direct reports need to hear. Because I got some babies and brown babies. They be a little more comfortable with me, so they tell me a little bit more. But basically, it's like, well, we don't know what to do. They know that ain't my job.
Right. That's your job.
That's all this time you was investing trying to land these projects and be the big bad, whatever level you're trying to get promoted. You also should have been taking time to figure out what your next move was going to be, and you didn't. Right. You put all your eggs in this one bucket to make something happen. Now you got what you prayed for, and you don't even know what to do with your blessing.
Right. Because that's one of the things, right? Yeah. Like, even just talking to my CEO, right? Yeah. Her being a white woman and been through a lot of stuff, and her being like, yeah, I had X hundreds of millions of dollars to exit on my last company.
Yeah.
And we're being like, what's your strategy for this company? Like what's your exit strategy for this?
Yeah.
And her being like, oh, this is going to be $1 billion company in how many years?
Yep.
And it's like, oh, so we're going public then.
Yes.
Like, that's the only way I see $1 billion company. You just don't do it being private.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. So even that, and she was like, you got to have an exit strategy. Like,
yes. Even if it doesn't go into place, thinking it out, at least puts you in the right rooms for opportunities to come.
Yeah. And also with doing that, you're putting it out in the universe for the universe to start conspiring with the things that you want to do. Right. Listen. So if you building a company, if you are building a company and you like, well, I want this to get acquired by, Facebook or Google or Twitter, like you need to put that out in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's like, oh, I want this to go public. Or you need to put that in the world. Or it's like, oh, I want to sell this. Like, I don't want to be a CEO no more. Like, I want to sell this and do it or whatever. So the fact that we all gotta, whether it's our job, our day job, our part-time job, kids, whatever, we all need to start thinking about what our exit strategy is in order for our next level, because we got that's the intention, right? Yeah. And we got to make that attention and then put it out into the world so the universe can start conspiring to put it out there.
Listen, we about to shout on Monday. listen, y'all know I do my weekly devotional. My weekly devotion is a weekly prayer project. Week 2, it is literally don't worry. And we reading out of Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 to 7. Don't worry about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. Come on. You better manifest it. Miriam done told you. The universe done told you. Nyambi done told you. The Lord done told you. I don't know who need to hear that, but that was the sign you were looking for. What is your exit strategy? Maybe it ain't work. Maybe it was the relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the exit strategy? And stop looking at the exit strategy as a negative.
Right. Because the exit strategy is a part of the life cycle or whatever the thing is.
Yes. Come on, there. I'm so worried. We done gave y'all Bible verses. We done gave you the universe chakras. We done gave you story time examples. What else more you want?
What else you want? Love it is ever evolving.
Peace.
So, so like that's just going on, right? And me really thinking about like what my extra strategy is, getting some more boundaries about like my job and things of that sort, right? And having this like veil of like this VP of marketing, right? And like I'm gonna do what I need to do Tuesday through Thursday and let that be done. And like me having more like guidelines for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about, because one of the things she's like, well, you're doing all this stuff, like why still be here? And like the first thing I say, it's a pandemic.
Where the money reside? Can you hit?
Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside? Where the money reside?
Hey.
So like, I was like, I would say A is a pandemic, but B, like I'm still getting vested. So
yes.
Until
that stock vest. Hey.
And I'm like, even though I'm a year and a half on a 4-year vesting cliff,
y'all gonna see my ass for
I'm gonna
these
be
4
here
years
as long as possible
for that,
in order to get fully vested, so I can.
Come on.
So talking about that, but also having this conversation of like, since you do all this and you're part time and yada 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 yada, like let's put some boundaries around that, not only for you but for me as a VP coming into this new position, scrappy startup, and like just trying to figure out like where else like we can put you in the best seat possible.
Yeah.
In order to do that.
That's
and I'm like, cool. And it was respectful. I was like, fair enough.
Because some VPs be like, they'll just abuse it. They
Some
would
people
just
will
use,
be like,
they'll
fair
just build with as you. If
Yeah.
it feels this good to be used.
Use me up, right? So like I can respect that. So I'm down with it. And being like, Tuesday through Thursday, holla at me. Don't talk to me on Mondays and Fridays.
Perfect.
That way I can work on my own shit.
Come on. And that gives you that still gives, because of course your own business sacrifice, you got to work on the weekend. That still gives you an extra day to work on the weekend for your own business. 1 day with me, 2 days on the weekend to work on your own business. And then 1 day like with yourself, or like it gives you, I think it even help you with your work-life balance.
Yeah.
Because Neeram sometimes work all day. Y'all know Nyambi, I'm good. Like I'm a hard worker, and there are days where I just go nonstop, but I absolutely know when I'm about to hit my wall, and I will break all that shit. Like I will be like, I ain't nowhere to be found. I won't answer a text, the email, nothing to recoup. Neeram's not as good as that. So I think having like those clear days of where you're doing that work, and then you'll have clear at minimum 2 to 3 days to work solely on your business, and at least one other day for you to rest, do other things you want to do. I think it just will help with balancing.
And I think that's actually the next step of where I was talking, or where going at as far as my update is like getting, we can call it burnt out, but just starting to get tired on some of the projects I'm working on, right? So like work has a very like time intensive project. And then, I'm working on this book proposal, and I'm on the final phases of the sample chapter, which is like the I would say one of the largest and hardest things for me to write. Like the marketing aspect and all the other stuff has been great, but I think actually putting pen to paper of what the sample chapter is going to be has been the hardest thing. And then also like I'm working on a larger project, a super large project with a large brand personally, right?
Yes.
And like trying to balance that
well.
and be an executive on that, and like EP that and all that. And it is starting to be starting to be hard, right? And it's hard. It's long days, right? And I think it's one of the things I've been talking to my therapist about. It's like, hey, I can't sleep no longer than like 5:30, 6 a.m. Like I'm up. And it's like, I think I'm just up because I got a lot of projects and things of that sort. And it's like, well, and she's like, do you think it is anxiety? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just telling you because you're my therapist.
Listen, see, this is why people are like, nah, we should be a therapist. See, 'cause that bullshit right
Right.
there.
I'm telling you because you're my therapist. So maybe you can figure it out.
Nigga, what you need, I'm going to give you the book. What you need is inside you. Yes, nigga, that's the answer.
So those are all the things that I got going on. But when it's all said and done, figure out what your exit strategy is.
Exactly. All right, we're gonna jump in some pillow talk.
Yeah, what we got going on?
Cool. What we got going on? Oh, date night, y'all. We were trying to keep it spicy. You know, this is Black Love Matters podcast. It's been a while since we kind of talked about like our relationship with what we're doing. So we wanted to share up and out some stuff that we've been working on. So at the top of the year, as couples, we always make goals individually, and then after we make individual goals, we come together. We necessarily don't do it like on a yearly basis. We like do it quarterly. And like for our anniversary and stuff like that. And one of the things that we talked about, or a goal that we set, was to really focus on like intimacy with each other, but not like sexual intimacy. And don't get me wrong, that's important too. But like just really being with each other. Because we've noticed since we've been home with COVID that we around each other all the damn time. But we're not around each other, right? You ever just been around someone, but you're not around them? Because I think originally when COVID started, it was like, oh, Neeram, let's drink coffee together. Let's have breakfast. Oh, is it lunchtime? Let's lunch together. I'm going on an afternoon walk. Would you like to come with me? Till we literally turned to almost grunts, right? Like, morning, coffee, tea. Like, I'll make me a cup of tea, and I'm like, you ain't gonna heat me up no water? I'm like, all right, the water there. He like, damn, you can't bring no tea. Like, just that type of area. And we were like, all right, we noticed the trend, but so how do we make time to have these moments of connection, moment of intimacy? Because I talked about how it was earlier in COVID, how we were all, you know, lovey-dovey, newlyweddy, all that type of area, right? Fast forward to almost a year later, we be, I don't know, what we be treating each other there.
Why are you talking to me?
Why is you breathing so loud? You see, I got this meeting I gotta go to.
Can't you see I'm in this meeting? Why you ain't wearing no pants?
Or even I would say if we go before COVID even started, where both of us worked a lot, like our hours of working hasn't changed, but I would say things that we did was keep it spicy. If we both knew that we had a long work day or one of us was going to be late, we'll say like, I'm working late, come meet me in like the city, or find somewhere, let's do happy hour. Like instead of cooking dinner, let's do this, or meet me at my job, right? Like we would find moments of like, what you call like refuge or recluse where it would be fun, right? It'd be like, oh yeah. Like say I'm working in San Francisco, I'd be like, Neeram, actually just take the train up, right? And then we'll come down, or like Uber up and we'll find something up here. Like it just felt different.
Right. Or hey, you know, come out here and you know, let's grab happy hour after work.
Yes, or let's go for this walk. Or I heard about this. My job gave me tickets to like this museum, or like we were just able, like that was how we were able to have those moments of intimacy, even though we were working so much and we didn't see each other. And since we didn't see each other, we like made it an effort to keep contact via text messages, right? Like I don't remember last time I text messaged Neeram. Like my text message be like, "Go get ice, nigga." Like. Like close the door, I'm sleep. Like you went because Neeram might take an early meeting, I'm sleeping in, and I'm like, you left the bedroom door open, I'm gonna come close the door, right? Where before my text messages would be like, working late, babe, what you doing? Like it's different. All that to being said, top of the year, we wanted to recommit to connectedness and intimacy. And one of the ways we're going to do it is we wanted to set a goal, but we wanted it to be achievable, right? So we weren't about to like play ourselves and be like, oh, every day or every Monday, hell, even every week probably would have been a stretch because of how much we work. But we're doing these things where we do like monthly intentional date nights. It's not that we can't do date nights or nice things or go pick up, carry out any other day of the month, because we know naturally things will happen. But it's every month, either Neeram or I are taking the lead on planning a truly thought out date. So January is my month, February is mine, and you have to do the whole 9. Like for us, the way we work best for time blocks, we send calendar invites. Some people be thinking that's corny. I forgot who was I talking to. They was like, y'all be sending calendar invites for the dates. It was like, don't y'all I said, but if it ain't on my calendar, I need a reminder. Like I need to be there. Like if it's not scheduled on my calendar, it may not happen.
Right. Because that's the thing, right? It has to be on the calendar, especially when I got assistants and shit that's putting shit on my calendar. If you don't put nothing on
or
there,
like work projects that's
Right.
coming up, right? Like we known for working on like a late night, just because, or me, I should say, I'm more known. I like bust out my work computer at 8 p.m. because I just got the energy to do it compared to 8 a.m. So that type of stuff. So that whoever leads that month is in charge for putting in the time, the calendar invite, and all that good stuff. So we started this month, y'all, and our first date night was this past Friday. And Niram, thinking he knows so fucking much. First of all, he thought it was going to include food. It did. But he done worked a nice long day. And I think his mouth was open a little bit. Should I tell him what we did, Niram?
Yes, go ahead.
So what we did, Niram, he be influencing in these streets. I really don't. So I was like, oh, it'd be nice if we connect to this way, right? I don't know if y'all seen it on TikTok or heard about it. It's the Target TikTok couple challenge, where basically you set a budget, 25, 50, whatever it's going to be, and you each go in a Target and you get these different items that represents the person. So you'll get an item that's food, drinks, snacks, their favorite color, something they need, something that reminds you of them, and something random. And then what you do, you come back and you share it, right? Like you come back over like dinner or drinks, and like you'll have the thing that says something that reminds me of you, and you both exchange it and you share why. So I made a little change to it. I actually I moved the budget up to like, what I say, $70?
75.
Yeah, I moved the budget up a little higher. And again, do it work in your budget. But I just did a little higher because we up in Silicon Valley, everything expensive, and I also wanted some good food. So instead of
Right.
just getting the good food, like any random food, you had to get dinner. So Niram had to buy a dinner for me, and I bought a dinner for him. So something he think I would like. And I told this all to Niram, and I was like, all right, we'll take our time. Let's take 90 minutes to get the food that you think I would like and go get these things at Target, and we'll meet back here, have dinner together, exchange the things, and just have some like good conversation and laugh with each other. And that's what we did. And I thought it went nice. I thought it was different. We'll get Niram's feedback. Niram?
I was looking like,
Scheme that Todd set up.
so my ass done worked a long day. And I was trying to figure out, like, all right, what's going to go on? So I'm like, Naomi, what's the dress code? She's like, oh, you just wear what you're wearing now.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take a little shower. I done got done with my meeting. She walking Mabel. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take a little shower and put on some fresh clothes, a little cologne and shit, thinking we about to go somewhere. And then here she come with the fucking scavenger hunt.
It's not a scavenger hunt because
What's
I
a
ain't
scavenger
'cause I didn't
hunt?
hide nothing. It's not a scavenger hunt.
And I was hungry as hell. I was pissed for a minute. I was so fucking pissed because I'm hungry.
Ain't no one told you not to eat lunch.
I didn't eat.
Why didn't you eat?
And then I'm looking at Naomi because I'm trying to gauge like what date night gonna look like. And I noticed Naomi only had one meal today, so I'm like, oh, she over here saving these calories.
Yeah, I do believe in saving the calories.
Because Naomi about saving these calories. She
Yeah,
been
because
eating.
I ain't the one who like, how some people are like, oh, I never eat pasta. That's a fucking lie. I'll just won't eat a bigger breakfast.
Naomi has been eating fucking salads and shit
And
all
protein
damn
shake
week,
for
and
breakfast.
protein shakes and protein coffees and shit. So I'm like, oh, we gonna throw the fuck down.
Nero said she got at least 2,000 calories.
Exactly. I'm thinking we gonna throw the fuck down.
Yeah.
And then here comes Naomi. You gotta go get me food.
Something that's special, right? You just can't just do it lots of days ago. You have to have a story. Every item you bring back, you need to have a rhyme and reason for why you got it.
A scheme that Todd set up.
I'm over here hungry. I'm hangry. Cause I'm like, all right, I done
think you
took
should've
the
made you a
shower.
protein shake.
I'm about to eat. We about to eat something good.
I done walked Mabel about 3 miles.
She done walked Mabel, and then she come back. You ready? I'm like, yeah. And then here she comes standing up like she a fucking camp director.
My energy.
I said, what the fuck
I
is
was
this?
a peer counselor before.
I said, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And then you gotta go get me food. Gotta go get me a drink, my favorite snack, something my favorite color, and then something I need, and then something. I'm over here like, ain't this about a bitch? I'm hungry as hell.
Scheme.
And this Nero, did you already get mine? I was like,
Right?
no.
Did you get my food?
No.
So I'm hungry, and
Was
like,
you
I
gonna
gotta,
eat your food before you left? What was you gonna
I
do?
don't know. I just know I was hungry as hell.
I asked you, did you want to eat? You could have had some almonds.
I was hungry as hell because I'm like, Naomi over here saving up these calories, so I know whatever dinner for date night gonna be good as fuck.
Yeah.
Now you talking about I gotta go get it, and I only got an hour and a
And
half
it
to
ain't the
get
food for
it.
you.
And, yeah,
And it got to be a surprise, so you don't know
and
what
then
I'm
gotta
gonna
be a
get you
surprise.
for you.
Whew. I'm over here now. I'm in Target parking lot.
And we went to 2 different Targets, so we won't run into each other.
Trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna buy now because at first I was like, well, fuck, I'm about to go to Chick-fil-A then.
I thought you was gonna just come home with a gift card
I started to.
and be like, you independent.
I said, oh, okay, I got something for that ass. I'm gonna go to fucking Chick-fil-A.
Well, you gonna be in Chick-fil-A line for 90 minutes.
That line was long as fuck. I said, that's gonna take up the whole 90 minutes. Damn. So I had to go up in Target. I had to, go through the little checkout line, get a Snicker or something. Yeah. And then like, all right, fuck, what I gotta get her again?
You know me, I'm organized, so check the calendar invite.
I'm like, what I gotta get again? Because I can't even think past the hunger and my stomach growling.
What's Target? You could have got a protein bar.
And then I started getting into
candy.
it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna fuck this fucking shit up.
Good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. I know how to get her ass.
Yeah.
But it was good when it was all said and done. Once I got something to eat, I'm literally like a Snickers commercial.
You know how they be like, you're being a diva, and it's like, remember it was Aretha Franklin the commercial,
right? It's like eat a Snickers,
and it's like, oh, you're not a diva no more. That's how Nero be.
I was fucking pissed. I was hungry as hell. Y'all don't understand.
Did it surprise you though?
Yes, it did surprise. After I got past the hunger and actually started getting into it, it started to be fun.
How did you like it when we came home? Was you worried about the food? Well, how did you feel about the food I gave you? And did any of the gifts surprise you or what you were thinking?
Yeah, because truthfully, like at that point, I'm like, all right, well, damn, what's she gonna get me?
Because then that becomes a surprise in itself, don't it?
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, I'm getting her this shit. Then I was like, well, what's she gonna get me?
This is the perfect event for if your partner or whoever you do it with, if their love language is gifts. This is the perfect event to do with them. Mm-hmm. But you said what you gonna do? I'm sorry, I cut you off. So what surprised you, and what about the food?
Well, the food was good.
Okay.
Like, and you was on the phone with your mama. Hey, your mama.
Because I got mad before Niram. I thought Niram was gonna beat me because I left a little after Niram because I was still wrapping Mabel up. You know, it's a whole performance to leave Mabel alone in the house.
And your mama talking about Niram gonna be late because his ass
went to Popeyes. He's like, you know, that's one of your favorite places.
I started to
because Popeyes will have you in there for at least 40 minutes.
And I was like, I can't even think. Because that's the thing
for
about
a chicken finger.
having a 90-minute limit out here in COVID.
So you're not there all day. You're not supposed to be out there all day in COVID.
And then it's 5 o'clock, so it's like lunch, dinner time. So it's like, well, shit.
Quickly.
I need to order something, and I need to order something now.
Yeah.
Because that's going to take the longest. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah. The gifts was fun.
I was so happy Niram just didn't bring me no salad because they say I was eating salads all week. Because one of my joys and pleasures are overpriced salads from Sweet Green. And I agree, they are my pleasures. But when I want a splurge, Sweet Green is not what I think about. I was just praying he didn't give me no Sweet Green. But any other day, I love Sweet Green though. I love they overpriced ass salad.
I started to because you pissed me off. I'm like, I'm over here hungry as hell. She's talking about I gotta get her dinner.
That's why I sent you to the Target, not by Sweet Green. Because I was like, that nigga gonna go to Sweet Green and give me a Caesar salad.
I'm gonna get your
talking about ass of chicken. Knowing I had a carb in 3 days. No.
Well, what do you think about it?
I enjoyed it. Niram got me Thai food and like a Thai food smorgasbord, and you know we have really good Asian spots out here, so it was so good. And I loved it. I always love like Niram's very intentional and thoughtful, so I knew he would be really really good at this. This was kind of more of a challenge for me and pushing myself. Because I think I'm constantly talking about like the knickknacks I need and what I want to do and what I don't do. But Niram's so good about getting things for himself and like making sure he's taking care of that. Sometimes outside of big stuff, right? Some big stuff Niram want that we're saving as a couple for. But like little things, that's not something Niram really thinks about. So it was a little harder for me to think of 7 things were under 75. So that's less than $10, $5 a piece to get that would make him smile, but also would be like useful. Like you didn't want to get things where it was just like, this was cute, but no, right? Like everything we got, I believe is something that practical, right? Yeah. Like we actually would use, like it won't be thrown away. Yeah. So that's why I would do.
But I also think like it's hard because like I've turned my hobbies into a job. Like I've turned my hobbies into a business. So anything I really want, it probably correlates to with my job or like the stuff that I want to do, and I can just write it off. And
I was trying to separate that.
So I think that's the hard part is that when it comes to that, like I like electronics, I like DJing, I like podcasting. So like that stuff, like the stuff I'm looking at or I have my eye on, like I usually just buy it and just write it off because it's a business expense.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think because the thing I got for Niram, something he needed, it was more around decompressing, right? It was like, this is just something to do because it's fun. It's just something to take your mind off of it. And I do want you to make time into it, right? You might not have the time to do it every day or even every week, but every other week you do need to make time for yourself in some form or some fashion to make sure you're operating at your highest. And I believe it or not, Nyambi's pretty good at it. I know my when my depression and anxiety act up, it looked like I'm not, but I am actually very good at protecting my time and doing things that bring me joy. I don't know if you noticed that right there.
yes.
Yeah. Perfect. Any other thoughts? But another message, keep it spicy, not only with your romantic partners, but if you got some good friends, right? Like this is a good activity to do with them.
Yeah, it was a nice little vibe after I got past like being hungry.
Yeah. Or even if it's not this, we're happy. Are we going to share monthly what we're doing?
Yeah.
When appropriate?
Sure.
Just to remind y'all too that, you know, there's ways to do things. And like we put a little higher limit on ours, but you don't got to do that. You literally can set a $10 limit for the dollar store. Right, you can do the dollar store and the dollar menu and do this all under $10, $15. So it's just something about it. Or another idea I have is actually even shopping within your house of some of the things you might not have used in a while or like paid attention to a while, or there's something in like your freezer you haven't cooked in a while, or you know how you just something that you just keep putting that roast to the back. That's ways to keep it nice and spicy. So all that to be said, I know it's COVID. I know it's a lot of stuff going on, but in your romantic relationships, find moments to keep it spicy. In your platonic relationships, find moments to keep laughter and joy top of mind. And I think having intentional date nights, gathering nights, when you have to be a little more creative, more than just jump on a Zoom or watch Netflix, can be helpful long term.
Yeah.
One Night in Miami.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a good movie.
Regina King.
Hand claps are her. Hand claps.
Regina King.
She did that.
Sis, you never don't act no more. You need to direct. Like you've already showed us you are queen when it comes to acting. Like she's already showed.
She can still voice act Jackson's Case, the Boondocks.
Okay, just that. But I don't need you acting anymore. We know you're brilliant. We have plenty of roles with you in it. Sis, we need you in the director's seat.
Well, I knew she was going to be
good.
We
want you acting, but we need you in the director's seat.
I knew she was going to be good. How she been directing those Cadillac commercials.
Is she directing them?
I don't know. Okay. It looked like it.
She in them though.
She in them.
She did that. I need Regina Kings to get all the awards.
Yes.
It looked beautiful. The actors were on point. Leslie Odom Jr. was singing with Sam Cooke.
Nationwide is on your side.
Darling, you send me. Come on. Singing. You know that falsetto he doing them runs?
Oh, I lost it.
Leslie was Sam Cooke. The young man who played Malcolm X. Kingsley Ben Adir, I think his name is, was Malcolm Xon. The gentleman who played Muhammad Ali / Cassius Clay, Eli Gorey, was Muhammad Ali. Addis Hodge, y'all know from Underground, you know this nigga. You already know how I feel about this motherfucker. Here, I gotta cuss hard.
Because Nyambi will risk it all.
He is the hall pass.
A scheme that Todd set up.
He is acting. He's giving strong Jim Brown. He's giving skin, teeth, all of it. These men... His teeth were so good. These men did it. They just did it. I truly just enjoyed seeing the reimagining of this brotherhood, the laughter they provided to each other, the challenge, the support, the nuance that they showed in these men. I think when we think of Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, we know that they were very complicated men, but often we don't show the many layers of them. I think this movie was a good job in beginning to pull back the layers of them, besides their celebrity, besides what they are, right? Like that's just what they do, right? Like Malcolm was a preacher, Sam Cooke was a singer, Ali was an athlete, Jim Brown was an athlete, right? Pulling back these perceptions to really just see who these men were, even if it was just for a quick glimpse. I just found joy out of it. Should I just do a quick summary of it for
Go
the
ahead, lay
niggas
it
who
down.
don't know about it?
Lay it down.
I'm
Spoiler
gonna just make a
alert.
summary. Yeah. So set on the night of February 25th, in 1964, One Night in Miami follows a young Cassius Clay as he emerges from the Miami Beach Convention Center for the as the new heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Against all odds, he defeats Sonny Liston and shocked the sports world. While crowds of people swarm Miami Beach to celebrate the match, Clay, unable to stay on the island because of Jim Crow segregation era laws, spends the evening at the Hampton House Motel in Miami's African-American Overtown neighborhood, celebrating with three of his closest friends, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, Jim Brown. During this historic evening, these icons who were the very representation of the pre-Black Power movement and felt the social pressures their crossover celebrity brought, shared their thoughts with each other about the responsibilities as influencers, standing up, defending the rights, and moving the country forward towards equality and empowerment for Black people. The next morning, the four men emerged determined to define the new world from themselves and their community. It was so good.
It was good as fuck.
Well, I'm definitely watching it again. I might watch that on MLK Day again
It was good.
instead of Selma. Selma good too. Ava, you did that, but I think this left me just with a different energy, a different lightness.
It did. It did. It left me with a smile like, oh, okay.
Okay, you can do this.
You can do this.
The humanizing effect it had
Yes.
for these men for
On
me
all
was
of
huge.
them.
Was huge. I mean, it cracked me up when Jim Brown went to Malcolm X. It was like, because I think because Malcolm X was getting on Sam Cooke's head about like being there and cooning and showing up and job. And Jim Brown was like, he's just doing his job, man. And he's like, yeah, but da. You know, in my job, I wouldn't do that. And Jim Brown was like, nigga, you don't got no job. What's your job? What? And he was like, I understand, brother. I was like,
What is
what's
your job, Malcolm?
What is your job? What's your job? And only a friend.
You're only a friend. He was like, what's your
Your
job?
job, like
man?
what you don't, it's different, right? Like, and I think even Malcolm got him right, like because of course his job is to be a minister. You know, he's a leader in the NOI movement, right? That is a job, but it ain't the same type of job Sam Cooke got, right? Like it's different, and you need to acknowledge that. And it's like I just enjoyed it. I don't know, Niram, you want to unpack it more, or what you was thinking, especially as a Black man? I don't want a Black woman Spain.
No, I think it was a good movie. I think everybody need to watch it. I think there was definitely some parts in it that was like, oh yeah, this is some nigga shit right here.
What?
When you get four men together and you trying to have these deep ass conversations,
Yes.
a fight is known to break out.
Is that how it go for you and your
Yes.
friends? Why? But
A
I
fight is known
appreciate
to
it.
break out.
How they were able to come back from it, though. I will say that is men, that is y'all superpower. Y'all are able to literally fight each other and then can sit next to each other on the bed like nothing happened. Women, no.
You get four
Ain't
strong
happening.
ass
When
men
Evan
together.
Lozado threw that wine bottle, her and Jennifer ain't been in the same room since. They ain't been in the same room since. And I don't blame them.
When niggas start about to fight,
But when men start to tussling, they can then go out and eat some vanilla ice cream together.
afterwards.
Women, we don't do that too well.
No, y'all don't.
I can absolutely say that. And women, y'all can write in if you want, but I don't got no examples. I don't got not one. I don't got one in my life. One time I tussled with my friends when I need to let one of my friends tell the story. Remember when my friend, I ain't gonna put his name on there, and said I grabbed a girl ponytail like a stick shift?
Oh yeah.
And we ain't talked since. Ever. But how many men have you tussled with and you talked to?
Multiple. I done fell out with a bunch of friends.
And then,
And then we just friends. Sometimes you just gotta fight. Sometimes y'all just gotta fight. Or at least tussle.
I enjoyed the parts when Michael came up out myself. And who was it? Sam Cooke or Jim Brown talking about he done dropped that what was that accent? That you know how Malcolm X.
That was Jim Brown.
I think all the great orators do this though. Like they pause for impact.
Yeah, pregnant pauses.
Like that's how, like that is how they talk. But when you get them riled up, Detroit Red, he's like, nigga, if you want to scrap, we can scrap. I enjoyed that. Just
Yes.
a piece of humanness, like to be like, oh man, I forgot you was a human. Like
Right.
we create them to be these greater than
Right.
beings. They're not. They're just humans.
Right.
They're just simply men.
Yeah, you think all these niggas dignitaries.
Yeah, and
Piss
they
them
just
off hit the wrong button.
hit the wrong button.
Nigga, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Brother.
What happened? You been calling me brother all this time. Now all of a sudden I'm a nigga?
So it was a lot of like funny points in it. Or I even think to the guards that was there, who was a brother Jamal.
Yeah.
And then other brother Jamal was hilarious.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah, I mean, that even lightens up the Nation of Islam, right? Because when you see them brothers in them bow ties, they be like the people at the guards at the museum. I mean, at the palace in the UK.
Right.
Like they don't break a smile unless they sound like a bean pie. But if they like guarding something or they watching something, they are
They have that stone cold killer
They
face.
are stoic and they Stacey Adams.
Not they Stacey Adams.
Okay. You go and roll up on the NOI if you want. You roll up on them.
Not the Stacey Adams. Baby.
You roll up on them and see what it's going to be and why. You roll up on the NOI. You roll up on that man with that bean pie if you think none of his brothers watching him. You ever wonder why they ain't never got jumped or taking that little piece of money or their bean pie stolen?
No, I know why.
I know why too.
Them niggas got guns.
They got goons.
And guns. Them niggas got guns.
You roll up on them and see what happens.
And I don't mean to call them brothers niggas, but they got guns.
Yes, they got guns and goons with love and respect.
Them brothers, respectively. Respectively. Them brothers got guns. Let me stop calling them niggas.
Exactly, but they roll up.
They roll up on me.
Listen.
Respectively, I'm sorry.
Listen, and you know we're from Detroit, so we definitely know about
Yes.
the NOI, that Shrine of Madonna, and how they be moving in these streets. Roll up on them.
So, respectively.
You don't hear about many NOIs getting caught up in no gang violence or no
Sure
shootings, or you don't hear about them temples. You don't hear about that. Which is why people be suspect still about him. We're going to leave it.
Respectively.
We're talking about Night in Miami. But what else would you think? That's what we be talking about, the assassination of Malcolm
Look,
X.
crickets. I ain't saying
Because you
shit
ain't
else.
never heard no other infiltration of NOI. Ever. Anyway.
Crickets.
But another thing that got to me, should we even get us away?
Go ahead. Spoiler alerts.
When Jim Brown was visiting a white coach or white man, and they was on the porch drinking sweet tea and lemonade, and the white man, you thinking it's a man who happens to be white instead of a white man, because he was like, they gonna talk their shit, Jim, but you keep doing your stuff, right? They stuck in time. You doing our town proud. They just not ready to move, right? You know, talking to stuff we're supposed to talk. Then here come his daughter Karen. Papa, you say you're gonna move to Cheerio. First of all, bitch, don't you see I'm drinking sweet tea? This can't wait. But anywho, he's like, okay, let me move for you real quick. And Jim like, let me help you through there. And he was like, nah, Jim, don't you know we don't let niggas in the house? Oh my God.
A scheme that Todd set up.
I wanted to fall on the ground. I know it took Jim Brown. In my head, again, I don't even know if this really happened, but honestly, I can't imagine white people. I can absolutely imagine white people doing this. So even if it didn't happen directly to him, it happened to one of my ancestors, and I feel it. It took all his might not to choke the shit out that white
He
man.
said, we don't let niggas in
He's
the
one
house.
of the strongest athletes. Like, he could have choked the shit out of that white man. Imagine the self-control it took for him not to cuss him out or fuck him up. How? Just how?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know.
And then it was A. Hodge doing it. So, you know, I don't really like people talking crazy about my man like that. Near him, of course. But Hodge, of course. Just is a lot. What else? What's some other things that stood out to you? Sam Cooke character stood out to me too. Because he was talking some shit. He was talking right.
I think, I want to say Lamar Odom. What's his name? Leslie
Oh my God.
Odom.
Not Lammy.
Leslie.
Lamar Odom is Lammy.
Only thing I can hear is Nationwide is on your side.
Because that boy can sing, but that song is so fucking catchy. Even when he started, when you send me, oh, Nationwide is. I feel like every song just transitioned to it. But he can sing,
He can sing, but it's
just in my head.
It just stuck every time I see his ass.
Even in Hamilton.
Nationwide is on your side.
Even when he was playing Burr.
And he's like, I killed Hamilton, but Nationwide is on your side. I said, damn, I can't get this out my head.
Oh, singing ass. But I liked him. I liked the point of view that Sam Cooke brought, or Leslie's character brought, I should say, about business. And honestly, it went back to everybody got a role to play in this. And I love how he called Malcolm on the scene. Like, it all don't got to look the same.
Yeah,
we fighting the same battle, right? But it don't got to look the way. We all don't got to go to war the same way. We all need to go to war in different ways. We need to fight financially. We need to fight on the ground. We need to fight all the areas. And I hear it. I hear it. And I loved, again, how he just challenged Michael to say it's different ways of going. We're not on the different teams.
Right.
It looked different how we going about it, but we are on the same team.
Yeah.
So I appreciated him doing that.
And I think the other thing is that looking at them and that point of everything they was displaying is that where they was all at turning points in their lives.
Yes.
So like Malcolm
was about to leave.
NOI. You had Jim Brown with like on the precipice of like retiring from the NFL.
Yeah. At his greatest.
While being like one of the greatest football players to ever live during that time.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali just won the
heavyweight transitioning to being changing his name, basically rebranding.
Like rebranding and all that.
Completely in the middle of his career, right? Sam Cooke, who did crossover, right? But truly leaning in to the crossover, right? Instead of necessarily being the one to lean back out of the crossover, all that type of stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. And also, we can't forget Muhammad Ali, the man who played Muhammad Ali. What's his name again? I don't forgot his name that quick. Eli played the hell out of old pretty ass Muhammad Ali. We all need the confidence. Next Kwanzaa. Y'all know we celebrate Kwanzaa. Part of the Kwanzaa ritual is to call ancestors into circles. It can be your own personal ancestors, or it can be just Black generational ancestors. I think I'm calling energy of Muhammad Ali just because the way in which he loved himself was just unmatched.
It was amazing.
He was like, man, I'm pretty. Oh, I'm just so pretty.
I'm a pretty motherfucker.
And the way he did that was just beautiful. Again, we didn't go to a nuance. We gave a couple spoilers, but we highly recommend y'all go watch One Night in Miami on Netflix. Sounds good.
Sounds great.
All righty. We got a little kitchen table talk before we close it out. So kitchen table talk, Bruss is cuz. As always, if you got any questions for us, feel free to shoot us an email at Black Love Matters. That's Black Love Matters with no K at gmail.com. So this letter says, Dear Nirma Nyambi, I am a longtime listener. I need y'all advice. My wife recently gained about 50 pounds. I'm finding myself not as attracted to her as I used to be. She says she wants to lose weight and we invested resources for her, but it's not working. What should I do? Keep this shit anonymous. Niggas ain't shit. I can't stand niggas.
Scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the booze.
Nigga tried it. What do you thought he was gonna say? All the name and the email address? Because I'm assuming if he listens, she listens.
Exactly.
And she know what 50 pounds is. It's certain numbers you know when you gain.
Right. I hope you changed it up just a tad.
Yeah, I hope it's 20, maybe 100. I don't know what it is, but I hope it ain't on the point. Look, he should say she's gained 43.8 pounds as of today on MyFitnessPal. This is a loaded question. I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, we need to have a whole episode on weight and talking about it and fat phobia and all these things that go with it. Okay, I gave 50 pounds and she said she wanted, so she said she wanted to lose it. Okay, Nira, what you think the problem is? Well, I don't even know what this nigga asking. He's not finding herself as attracted to her as he used to be. Mm-hmm. Also looks like they invested money and resources into it, and that's hard in the COVID, and if she ain't doing it, you don't know what to do next.
Right.
So
that's the question. Like, I think there's a lot of questions. So, like, do she need help with like losing weight? Yeah. Do you need help with figuring out how to be attracted to her?
Yeah. Like, more clarity. We might have you send a follow up. We can do some high level stuff, but yeah, like we need more detail. Oh,
and she told you?
Come on. Oh, now I'm trying to make it a scandal.
I'm just trying to check.
And she'd be like, surprise,
twins.
I didn't know.
Twinsies.
Yeah. Honestly, this is your wife, so you need to have a very upfront conversation with her. Like, this is not something you need to tiptoe around with her about, right? Like, I do believe when you're married, it's for better or for worse.
Not for 50.
Right. Not for people. We grow when we expand, right? Like all those things, I do believe, you need to be with your wife about, but it's nothing wrong with if you have concerns going to them. So first, I think I always go with baseline. Is anyone in danger? So is this 50-pound weight gain? I'm asking you, you don't necessarily got to ask her, right? Is it because of COVID? Is everything okay?
Right. Is it because of health reasons?
Like, is everything okay first, right? Because I don't think people often intentionally want to gain 50 pounds for no reason.
Out the
like
blue.
I don't think that, like, I know some people who are smaller who wants to pick up that weight. So I don't know if that's this type of situation, but people don't intentionally wake up in the morning and be like, yes, I would like to be 50 pounds heavier.
Right. So like, is it a health thing? Is it a mental thing? Like,
Yes.
is it a mental health thing? Like,
Yes.
It can be a lot of things.
Yes. So I think you might need to shift your perspective on this, because it sounds like bro mad because he bought weights and she ain't used them. Like, relax. I think you need to go about this with kindness and compassion and transparency, right? So really going to her to be like, obviously y'all talked about she gained weight because y'all invested resources in it, to be like, I know we bought these things to help you lose weight and that's great, but do you think, is there anything else going on, right? Like, maybe we should go to the doctor. And when I mean doctor, I mean all of them. Do we go to our primary care doctor? Do we talk to a therapist? All these things, a nutritionist, get some blood work, just to make sure nothing else is going on that could be within your control. So, like, I think that's where I would start. As far as this attractedness, I would actually push you to say, is it just a weight? Because I know niggas, and niggas is nasty, and ain't no 50 pounds don't get in the way of niggas being attracted. Okay. Okay. Does Nayan come here.
Does the pussy still work?
The pussy still works. So
Does the mouth still work?
So you're not about to get me. And the lights go out, you don't know what nobody weigh. Hey, you can't tell. That ain't what it is. So I would actually ask yourself, like, what is it? It's not, I'm going to tell you now, it ain't the 50 pounds. Like, what is this lack of connection and sense of intimacy you feel as if you don't have with your partner? And I think that needs to be addressed. I think the weight might be just an after effect of all those things. But that's just me going off the top of my head. I do think it's something else. Are y'all not connecting for whatever reason?
Or are you just fat phobic?
Well, Niram, take it from there.
No, I just want to question, brother. Are you fat phobic?
Yeah.
Are you afraid that you're gonna catch the fat too?
Yeah.
And I think.
Are you worried what other people are gonna say?
Yeah. Are you worried about
you might need to find your little therapist? Yeah.
Outside appearances of what everybody else gonna say.
Yeah.
And like, hey, does that matter? Because y'all going through COVID.
Yeah.
When it comes to the black community, the first thing black people like to always address on you is your appearance.
Your appearance, because they think they have a right to comment on your appearance.
But they don't.
Yeah.
So are you doing that, and are you providing extra pressure on your wife?
Yes. I was going to say that this also feels a little fathering to her. Like, she does not need you to be her father. Like, if she invited you into this conversation to talk about her weight and all these things, and like I said, if health is all taken care of, like, that's not your, maybe she want to be at this weight, right? Like, it's not your, like, if I was her situation, and maybe in her head she thinking she looking good, she's slim thick, and then here you come with jump ropes. Like, it wouldn't help me feel better about myself, it won't help me do any of that. So I don't even know if you're clear on where you're standing when it comes to this issue. And I do think a conversation needs to be had with you and her. But also, yeah, I think you need to do a little introspection too. Like, I like the idea of Niram, you talking about, like, are you fat phobic?
Right.
Yeah, you
are
could
you fat
be.
phobic?
You think you say he's here, he gonna catch the fat?
Right.
Actually, no, nigga, send a picture of you. Listen, I'm unpacking, sis. What you look like? Have you changed? Do you have all your teeth still? Did you? How much money you make? Like, is you still the same nigga?
Did you gain?
Did you gain or lose? Come on, send a picture of you next time.
A scheme that Todd set up.
Why we on, sis?
No, but I do think it's a thing, right? Like, checking to see, like, is there other things that's going on with her? Health wise, right?
And if it's not, you gotta let it go sometimes.
And that's the thing of coming at her like, hey, like, I see you. This is definitely a thing. I don't know if it's been addressed, but I just want to bring it up to say, hey, like, I'm noticing, like, you're doing this. Like, is everything okay?
Yes.
Do we need to go to the doctor's office?
Is this intentional?
Like, do we need to go to the doctor's office?
Yes. Are you happy?
Like, are you happy?
Yeah.
Are there some emotional things that you're going through?
Yes.
That we need to, like, figure out, like, what is the root of the problem?
Yes. Because that's just symptoms. All the stuff, this weight gain, all that's symptoms.
Right.
That's not the real root.
And then, like, 50 pounds just don't come out the blue out of nowhere.
Yes.
So this has to been over a course of
at least 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and you ain't really addressing it, you just sitting around like, oh, you just getting fat, sis.
Yeah.
Maybe you the problem.
Did you bring her Popeyes? Exactly. I like that now.
So maybe you the problem. And I think that's the thing, right? Is trying to balance like, it's COVID, so providing some grace. Be that's your wife, so this will be for better for worse.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
And I think C coming at a holistic approach of like what's really going on.
Yeah, and don't just throw she's not a puzzle that needs to be solved. Mm-hmm. I think you're there to be a sounding board and a support system, but I don't think you got to solve the problem.
Right.
If that makes sense. You can go there and be like, I love you. I'm noticing this. Is there a way I can support you?
Right.
But she got to be a grown woman to figure out to solve it for herself. She can't lose this weight for you.
She got to lose it for her.
For herself.
And so, you talking about we invested in resources. What you invested in?
What is the resource, nigga?
That could be anything from free weights to pills. I don't know.
Oh, you're right now. We need more questions answered.
It can be on the scheme of cocaine to jump rope. We don't know.
This nigga say cocaine.
Yes, because how the whites we be like, oh, I'm getting fat. Let me just take a bump of coke.
Yeah.
That's how the whites do it.
Yeah. And they wonder where the opioid crisis come from. Jesus. God damn.
Ooh, I just use coke to keep my weight down.
Bitch.
What?
That's why you don't got no teeth. Wow.
Or is it other lifestyle changes?
Not moving as much, yeah.
Not moving as much. Or she was originally a smoker and she stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Right. Because that can, induce weight gain and things of that sort. Right. So I think there's a lot of other factors at play that I can't best answer this, but I think one of the things is you fat phobic.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Safe Space, your comment came off super fat phobic. Mm-hmm. I think I wouldn't have been as got the fat phobic by it if it maybe was a girlfriend. Because I think as a girlfriend, when you're dating someone, this can be a non-negotiable, I think. Because I do think it could play into lifestyles, levels of discipline, right? And long term. And then if it ain't for you, you can just leave. But I do think marriage is a different level of, connectedness. Mm-hmm. That you just got to get to the root. It ain't the 50 pounds, nigga. What is it?
Right.
It ain't the 50 pounds and you're not attracted. The 50 pounds is not the reason you're not attracted to her. So stop lying. Mm-hmm. That's all I want to say nicely. 50 pounds. Nigga, real niggas be like, move that stomach. Move that stomach and here a pillow.
Get the coconut oil.
Get the coconut oil. But let us know if you want to answer our questions. We're happy to elaborate more. But I think we gave you a couple options to go forth with. But I will say the biggest thing is she is not a puzzle to be solved. Ask questions from a place of kindness and compassion. And I think if you stick to that, it'll be it, right? Because honestly, I think that sometimes folks don't talk about a marriage. Sometimes you get big, sometimes you get little, sometimes you get sad, sometimes you get mad, you lose jobs, people get sick. All these things happen, right. And
plus it's COVID.
Okay, Near, I'm thinking everything just COVID.
No, because it's COVID.
It happens though. These things happen.
Anxiety, depression, and shit.
And you have to be able to push through it. Yeah. And that's why, even I think we were talking about earlier in the episode, we were talking about intimacy. That's why it's so important to build intimacy on multiple planes too.
True that.
All right. You want to close us out, Nero?
Yes, as always, to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com. To submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk, shoot us an email at blacklovematters@gmail.com. Remember, that's black with no K. And to leave a comment about anything we talked about, head on over to that website. We got that SoundCloud and we got that voicemail. That's at 508-784-1111. And once again, that's 508-784-1111. Talk to y'all later. Remember, love is ever evolving. Peace.
Happy MLK.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as the people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about any